Hey there, my friends. Let's talk about how to be mindful, how we can become more mindful about being mindful. I'd like to share with you some insights that I think work for me. And before we splash into those, let me first give you what mindfulness means to me. To me, the term mindfulness means I am full of my mind. My mind is inside of me, it's integrated into my body. I am full of my mind. And I am not so much talking about the left brain analytical mind. Actually, I think that is something that really interferes with our mindfulness quite a bit. The mind I'm talking about is more our mind of awareness. So my awareness is fully present inside of me when I'm being mindful. And we'd also be curious, like, why do we want to do that? What does mindfulness actually do for us? I don't know what it does for you. I'll just speak for myself. What mindfulness offers me is simply more satisfaction in life. I feel more fulfilled the more mindful I am. There's times where I have days where I scoot through the whole day, and at the end of the day, there's just sort of like this empty dissatisfaction inside of me. It's just, I went through the motions of my day, and there's not that satiation that some part of me craves. And then other days where I'm more mindful and I essentially go through the same motions as I went through the unsatisfied days, yet I end the day with a deep sense of satisfaction. To me, the difference that equals the sense of satisfaction is I was more mindful that day. It's very hard to feel a sense of satisfied when we're not filled up. And I would dare say the only person who can fill us up would be our own self. And I would dare say, kind of like a quick definition of who we all are, is our awareness, especially the awareness that's aware of our awareness. And when we can invite that to be more present inside of us, to me, that's what gives us a lot of satisfaction. So with that said, a few insights about what works for me that I'd invite you to test drive, to invite your awareness mind to be more of a part of your day. So first thing I'd ask you to consider would be assigning purpose. Specifically assigning purpose to whatever you are doing or not doing in the given moment of your day. So in other words, whatever you're doing, allow that to be looked at as a very purposeful experience. If you're picking up a napkin off the floor, mindfulness says this has great purpose. If we see no purpose in what we're doing, no purpose to our ego equals I don't matter. Therefore, I'm not going to go into a zone of I don't matter, because that's too shaming. So our awareness won't be anywhere present, or at least a lower percentage of our awareness won't be present if we don't see there's purpose in every single thing that we're doing. But if we acknowledge there is great purpose in whatever menial task I'm doing, then that invites more of our awareness to be present. Because our awareness, it wants purpose to magnetize it. At least that's my story about it. Kind of like the old Zen saying of how to become enlightened is chop wood and carry water. What that means to me is the mundane tasks help facilitate our enlightenment if we allow ourselves to train ourselves to acknowledge there's purpose to it. A second insight I'd invite you to consider is what I would call the practice of notice what you're noticing. So for example, I notice there's a camera in front of me. That's one layer of awareness. Then I kind of exponentiate the amount of awareness when I notice that I'm noticing the camera. And then I can even go deeper into mindfulness where I notice that I'm noticing the noticing of the camera. So there's just more of my awareness as I'm noticing what I'm noticing. I notice there's a mirror on the wall, which I'm looking about a 7 out of 10 right now. So I notice that I'm noticing the mirror on the wall, and I notice that I'm judging myself to be a 7 out of 10 on the handsome scale right now. Pretty interesting. Notice what you're noticing. A third insight I'd ask you to play with is be acutely aware of your body's sensations. I believe our bodies are a great instrument. There's a reason why we have a body. And if we're just scooting through our day, going through our the motions, but we're not filled up with our awareness mind, then we have no idea what we're feeling. And if we just intentionally pay attention to what we're feeling, well, by golly, to use the terminology my grandparents would use, it takes awareness to notice what we're feeling. So if in any given moment we simply remind ourselves of the question, what am I feeling in my body right now? That helps facilitate more fullness inside of us, more satiation inside of us. Right now, I'm feeling some tingling in my chest. I notice the vibration of my vocal cords. And I notice that I'm noticing the vibration of my vocal cords. And for now, the last little crumb of food for thought I'd invite you to play with when it comes to how to be more mindful is invite yourself to see the light side and shadow side of anything or any experience that you're going through. I think going through is how I would say it if I'm being mindful. If I'm not being mindful, I would say going to. So, if we only see the light side of an experience, we're only of a half a mind. We're not full enough in our mind to see more of the whole experience, the whole spectrum. I only see half of what's going on, half the potential. Conversely, if I only see the shadow side, I'm working not mindfully, but maybe half-minded. But allowing myself to see what is a light side, what is a shadow side, whether my overarching judgment is this is a bad thing or this is a good thing. What is the light side and what is the shadow side to this good thing? Or I judge it a bad thing. What is the light side? What is the shadow side to this bad thing? In other words, it takes a lot more awareness to essentially up our game to see the light and shadow of whatever's going on outside of us or inside our own mind. And of course, that's exactly what invites our awareness to come inside of us and be a part of our day. So with that said, I'd invite you to play around with these few insights that I like to work with. Lastly, I'd say probably not try and use all of these insights all at once, or else I believe we become less mindful in an effort to become more mindful. But play with one insight at a time. See if it works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, at least you'll be noticing that, which will probably inherently make you more mindful. And again, the purpose of mindfulness, is it perhaps so that we can simply feel more satisfaction through more inner fulfillment because our awareness is filling us up to a greater degree compared to when we're not mindful. With that said, I'd invite you to mindfully click the subscribe button, and I'll be looking forward to talking with you in future videos.